Am I the a-hole for not letting my 6 feet 6 inches brother have the free first-class upgrade the airline gave me on our 12-hour flight? Hello, am I the a-hole? We are at the beginning of my dad's retirement family trip. He is paying for all of us to meet as a family in Hawaii for a week since he is retiring after working at the same company for 42 years. There are 6 of us, but my brother and I live in the same part of the country. I guess it's relevant to say I am 5 feet 1 inch and my brother is 6 feet 6 inches. I fly all the time for work and have quite a bit of status with the airline for which my dad bought our tickets. This is what happened way earlier today. We were all boarded and ready to go when a flight attendant came up to me and whispered that they had a first-class passenger not show up and they needed the coach seat to accommodate a standby passenger. She said I had by far the most status of anyone on the plane, so they were willing to move me to first class for free. I was like, oh yeah, and I took it in a heartbeat. I told my brother I'd see him in 12 hours and let me know if he wanted any food or drink, and I grabbed my stuff and moved. Needless to say, I had a nice flight. When we landed and were waiting for our shuttle, my brother was so pissy but wouldn't tell me what was going on. He didn't speak to me the whole shuttle ride. We had a nice hello with the rest of the family, but after I got down from my shower, my mom took me aside and said what I did was awful. I asked her what she was talking about, and she said that I should have given my brother the seat. I thought that would be the end of it, but all 5 of my siblings and my parents are upset with me, and the vacation is off to a very rough start. I was trying to play with my niece and nephew in the lobby waiting for lunch, and my sister said no, they only like to play with people who give a shit about their family. What were you thinking? I asked her if this was about the first class thing, and she said, what do you think it's about? I said that he never asked me to switch with him. She said an a-hole makes people beg, family members don't. I've been by myself since brunch and not having much fun. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Wow, this totally blew up. Thank you for commenting, everyone. I only saw my family for a little but yesterday, and they were still mad at me to varying degrees. I have a really good friend that lives here in the military, so she hung out with, and we met some really fun and cute guys at a dive bar. So my vacation will be great no matter what. But reading your comments really gave me the confidence to not give a crap, or try to at least. Thank you.
Had something happened to me years ago on Air Canada, Vancouver to Toronto red-eye, flying with adult daughter and got tagged for upgrade. I asked about letting her fly up front instead, and was told the seat is only available to the status holder. I was exhausted from a week working away, so I took it. No one shamed me for it. Not the a-hole. Your brother was getting a free vacation, and being jealous of your status was rude and ill-informed. Too many people think the life as road warrior is all peaches and cream. It isn't.
Not the a-hole, you earned the points. Also, how old is everyone? Everyone I know who is over 6 feet usually ask if they can pick their seat or ask if they can pay the person buying the seat the extra amount to get the leg room.
Not the a-hole, but you sure have a family of them. Your status got you the offer. If you declined it, it wouldn't have gone to your brother anyway. No reason you should have turned it down just to stay in coach with your brother. Try to explain it to your family, but none of this makes you an a-hole.
Not the a-hole. As someone with lifetime status on 2 airlines, had you asked for your brother to take the seat, they would have given it to the next highest status person on the flight, since they want to reward their frequent flyers, not relatives. Tell your family they don't understand how this works, and that this wasn't just that you had an extra first-class upgrade coupon. It was an on-the-moment upgrade just for you based on status.
Not the a-hole. I'm a foot taller and 150 pounds heavier than my wife, who has MVP Gold status due to work travel. When we're flying together and there's only one upgrade, she gets it because she's the one that has to deal with airlines and airports 20 times a year. I've never once considered asking her to give it to me. It's her perk. Your family is weird for taking offense as a group over a seat on a plane.
Your brother is a passive-aggressive winner who apparently can't even use his words and runs to his mommy to fight his disputes for him. You totally deserved that upgrade, and even more so in retrospect because of how your brother acted like a toddler who missed his nap. You and your niece and nephew are the only non-AS in this story.
Am I the a-hole for letting my kids disturb my husband during an important work meeting after he said he would handle them for a day to prove how easy my job is? I'm 31 female and my husband is 36 male. We have 2 boys, a 5 years old and a 7 years old. My husband works in an office and he has the option to work a few days a week from home, but he prefers not to because he says it's easier to focus in the office. I run a small business from home. I don't have a lot of daily work, just some emails and planning, maybe 3 hours a day. But the business does make about a third of our household income. But my younger son is home all day and just dealing with him takes a lot of energy. He's really high energy and will probably wreck something if you leave him alone for an hour. And then the older one comes home at 3 and both of them are with me until 8 or 9, which is when my husband usually comes home. A few days ago, I was really tired and I didn't make dinner. When my husband came home, I asked him if we could just order something. He was also tired and we were both short-tempered, so we ended up snapping at each other. He said I should have at least ordered before he got home and he was hungry. I said I forgot and it's not fair that food is always my problem. He said that I'm home all day and I even admit I don't have much work to do, so I'm basically a stay-at-home mom and should at least take care of dinner. I said he has no idea how much I do every day, and he said he'd handle the kids for an entire day while also working from home just to prove it should be easy for me. I said sure, so he made the arrangements to work from home yesterday. I slept in, and when I woke up he was already frazzled from getting the older one ready for school. He ended up having to cancel a meeting to make breakfast, and was worried about that. Then when he took another meeting later on, the boys went out to play in the yard and got super muddy and left footprints all over the house, which he then had to mop, and I didn't help at all. By this point, I did feel sort of guilty because it was definitely harder for him to take care of work at the same time, but all I wanted was an apology. He said he was doing this to show that I do nothing all day, and if he just admitted he was wrong I would have helped out straight away. Later on he had another meeting, and he told the boys not to bother him for an hour. But about 20 minutes in, they got in an argument about something and our younger one went into my husband's room to complain. He was really loud and my husband's video was also on. Then he told the kid to leave him alone, but he was upset and crying and wasn't listening. After a few minutes my husband went back to the meeting and apologized to the other people. When it was finished, he was really angry at me. He said I could see what was happening and I just watched him struggle without helping. I said all you had to say was please help. He said I shouldn't be so petty and prideful. This probably made him look a bit stupid in front of his manager, but it was only a few minutes and I don't think it was the huge deal he made it out to be.
Not the a-hole, and if I'm not reading the post completely wrong, they're your husband's kids as well. So not sure why point 1 is worded as it is with the, I didn't step in to help when my kids were disturbing him. He said he could handle it, he couldn't, that's on him.
Yes, they're his kids too. I just used our and my interchangeably because I'm used to calling them my kids when talking to other people.
Not the a-hole. He deserved a little comeuppance. If he doesn't come home until 8 to 9, you are basically a single mother, working part-time, while taking full care of 2 small children, and maintaining an entire household, with little to no help from him. You're allowed to occasionally be exhausted. He was an ass for making you feel guilty about one dinner. He was an even bigger ass to insinuate that what you do is no big deal. The icing on his a-hole shit cake was claiming he could easily do it. Fuck around and find out. With so many people working from home now, people obviously understand there's a slight possibility a kid will interrupt something. It was likely no big deal to his meeting, and he deserved it.
Next time he compares you to a stay-at-home mom, tell him you're more of a single parent.
He's seriously saying you shouldn't be so petty and prideful. While you are being petty, with reason, he is the one being prideful. All he had to do was admit he was wrong and you'd have helped, but he chose to screw up in front of his manager rather than admit fault. Not the a-hole.
Him saying you can see him struggling, but you did nothing is the whole problem. He sees you struggling and does nothing to help take things off your plate. He piles more stuff onto it. Maybe you could have helped out during the meeting, but honestly, I say, not the a-hole. When he calms down, point out that he experienced a fraction of what you have to handle on a daily basis.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.